Hi everyone, my name is Karen, this is my channel RatherBeReading, and today I'm bringing to you a reading vlog. Hi guys, it is 4:14 p.m. on Wednesday the 9th of January. Welcome to a new reading vlog. So you might be thinking, it's 4:14, how are you checking in already? It's a work day. It was. So I had one of the worst migraines I've ever had this morning, but it was weird. It's been kind of like a flash migraine almost. I don't even know if that's a thing, but I ended up going to bed a little bit later than I normally would. Not super late, but a little bit later than I try to go to bed normally on a work night, because I was finishing the captions on the previous video that I uploaded that was going up last night. So I did that, came to bed, was reading, finished my book. I'll touch on that in a minute. And then went to sleep. I was probably asleep by like 11:30, so not super late. When my alarm went off this morning, I woke up with one of the most severe migraines I've ever had. It was so bad. And my alarm goes off obviously quite a while before I need to be at work. And so at first I just set my alarm for a little bit later and was like, I'm just going to try to sleep for an extra hour, see how I go. And I was kind of sleeping off and on for that hour, whatever it was. And then I woke up and my migraine was so bad. I ended up sending an email to my boss saying that I couldn't come in that day. Like my vision, I get problems with my vision when I have migraines. I couldn't see properly. It was really bad. And so I sent an email to my boss. I'm probably going to have to apologize to my boss tomorrow, because I think I sent quite a terse email because I was not like in my right mindset and I couldn't like really see properly, and I was trying to send the email on my phone, and yeah, it was, anyway, I had a reply from him saying no worries, so I'm sure it's fine, but I'll speak to him tomorrow and just be like, sorry if I seemed rude. So I ended up so I sent the email saying I wasn't going to come in. I took some of my really heavy duty migraine painkillers that I've got that I try not to take too often. A lot of times with migraines, I try to ride them out if I can, because I don't like to take painkillers too often, especially heavy duty painkillers, because your body does start to build up a resistance to these types of things, and it's just something that I'm very aware of, and I don't like to put like stuff like that into my body too often if I can help it. So, but this was not one of those occasions. So I took some of my heavy duty painkillers. My heavy duty painkillers make me really drowsy. And so I came back to bed. So I'd emailed my boss it was before 8:30, whatever it was, and I went back to sleep, and I slept hard until 3:30 in the afternoon, which is, again, very unusual. Even normally when I have a migraine and I try to sleep, even when I've taken medication that makes me drowsy, it'll normally be very broken sleep. I'll kind of wake up a little bit, drift back off to sleep, stuff like that. And this wasn't like that. I slept solidly from like 8:30 in the morning until 3:30. So obviously my body was in very much need of like shutting down to just like replenish. And when I woke up at 3:30, I still have kind of a headache, but it's a mild headache, like a type of headache that I have all the time. It's not a big deal. I feel like a bit like weakened, and like my blood pressure is probably quite low, all of those types of things, but I feel okay. Like I could function as a human right now, which is a miracle compared to how I felt this morning. So that's what's happening. So I've been awake now for about, what did I say it was? So almost an hour. And I had a little something to eat because I hadn't eaten at all, and to help my blood pressure as well, my blood sugar and all those types of things. And I thought I'd film this update for you because my plan for tonight, like even if I'd gone to work, my plan for tonight, so the only thing I've got going on tonight is a physio appointment, which is at 5:40. So I should be home. I then have to, as soon as I finish the physio, I'm going to swing past the library because I've got some overdue books to return. So I'm going to drop those in the slot, come home. I should be home by like 6:30-ish. And then I've got the whole evening without anything else going on. So I was going to spend the evening editing the vlog from before this, because that needs to go up tomorrow. Tomorrow I've got a boxing class, and I'm not going to have a lot of time to edit it, and the vlogs are the videos that take me a really long time to edit, so I want to get that edited tonight. So my plan now that I'm at home and I feel all right now, is I'm probably going to go out into the lounge room now. Winifred's she wants her dinner. She thinks it's dinner time because I'm woken up or something, and I'm like, no, it's not dinner time yet. So I'm going to go out there and edit that now, and I'm hoping to get most of it edited before I go to my physio appointment, or only have a little bit of it left to do when I come home from physio, so that then I can spend the evening just relaxing and reading, watching booktube. I may actually watch a movie, maybe even. I'll see how I feel, but I'm excited now to have probably a pretty free weekend, free weeknight, because I don't get those a lot during the week, because I normally have things going on like physio and boxing and knitting group and all those types of things. So I'm excited for that. So one, I guess, little upside to having had one of the worst migraines I've ever had in my life. So yeah, that is kind of that. On to the reading update. So last night I mentioned that in the last clip of the last vlog, I was reading The Duff by Cody Keplinger, and I had mentioned, I think I was like 53% of the way through or something like that when I got home from work, and I was really impressed that I'd managed to read that much just on my work day, because I'd only started it yesterday, and I read, and I had boxing class last night, and so when I got home from boxing class, I think I read like a couple of chapters, and then like while I was editing the video that was going up last night, and then read a couple of chapters while I was finishing editing it before I was doing the captions. In any event, by the time I went to bed, I was about 80% of the way through. So I ended up just finishing that last night. So I ended up reading the entire book of The Duff by Cody Keplinger last night, which I was really, yesterday, sorry, which I was really, really pleased with for a work day. Like, what? So I finished it. I take back most of what I said yesterday. I don't take it back because it was relevant thoughts at the time, but the book, all the issues that I had, you'll need to watch the last vlog. I'll kind of go into touch on it a little bit, but if you want to see my like full, like what I was saying, if you haven't seen the previous vlog, I'll link it in the cards for you guys. But all of those things that I had problems with were addressed. So some of the main stuff I had problems with was some of the a lot of the slut-shamey language. That is addressed, and I think addressed very well. There is a part towards the end of the book. This isn't really spoilers, but I guess if you don't want to know anything like that comes up, then I guess skip ahead. But I wouldn't really consider this a spoiler. Anyway, it gets addressed at the end. There's a character who the main character has referred to in slutty ways, and is just referred to as kind of a slutty character by a lot of people, like at her school and all that type of thing. And there's an incident that occurs, which I won't go into, but she then recognizes that that's them putting their views and their opinions onto someone else, and that no one knows her situation and actually knows what's going on. A lot of the sex that they assume that she's having, no one really knows that she's having. That's just all rumors around school, and you know, no one knows what she's going through and what her situation is, and it's no one else's place to judge her. Like, that is full on addressed in the book, which I loved, and that, you know, if anyone knew anyone's circumstance, you know, you shouldn't judge people, is basically the message. I really, really loved that. The whole issue of the main character constantly referring to the female character as the Duff is also addressed, which I really, really liked, and and it's also addressed as well of how everyone can see themselves, like how, especially when it comes to girls, we're all so, usually, this is a, you know, stereotype, but it's fairly true to life, I think. We're all so hard on ourselves. We all judge ourselves. We're all our own harshest critics. And so, you know, the main character has been called the Duff and is then thinking that she's the Duff within her, like, group of friends. And then, like, you know, when she talks to other characters later on, they're saying, no, I'm the Duff, because they are their harshest critic, and they think, no, you're way more. And, like, I just thought that is so true to life, that everyone thinks that they're, not everyone, but there are, like, a lot of times, everyone is judging themselves so harshly that, you know, anyone can perceive themselves to be the Duff in any, like, given time. So that was kind of mentioned in there, and it was addressed as well, how it's a hurtful word, and, like, you shouldn't call people that, and all that type of thing. Everything that I had problems with basically was addressed. I enjoyed the romance. It's all pretty tropey, pretty predictable. Like, only real thing that I think that I will say that I don't know how I felt about is that I don't know how good of a friends sometimes that I think these characters were to each other. Like, the main character is different from her friends, which is fine. I'm all for different friends, like supporting, you know, different people being friends with each other and supporting each other in different ways, and, you know, just friends being different. They don't have to be the same type of person. However, like, there's this place, this like party type place that's like an underage party place that her two main friends love to go to. They love to dance and all of that type of thing. And they're constantly dragging their friend, the main character, along. And the main character doesn't enjoy it. She doesn't enjoy it. She never has a good time when she's there. And yes, I know that we do things and we go to things sometimes that we don't enjoy to like support our friends and stuff. But then I was like, it gets to a point where I'm like, your friends aren't supporting you by constantly, like, it's constant that they're asking her to go and like taking her along when they know that you don't enjoy it, and just being like, oh, we'll buy you ice cream after. Like, okay, does ice cream at the end of a night make up for like a shitty night on the regular? I don't know. So that was the only thing about the friendship that annoyed me. I did think for the most part they were supportive and they liked to talk to each other and, you know, help each other with their issues. And, you know, there's a lot about friendship in the book as well as about the relationship. So overall, I really enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the romance. I liked a lot of the commentary that was in there about all of those things being dealt with. And I really enjoyed it. And I'm giving it 4 stars. Like, I thought it was a pretty good like YA contemporary, and I think I'll check out more from Cody Keplinger, especially because I saw that I think the characters in this pop up. I think she's got another book. I think it's the Lying Out Loud one. I think that is set at the same high school, and I think so. Yeah, I think you see some of the characters from this in that book, so I might check out that one. Or if you've got any other, if you guys have read any other Cody Keplinger, have recommendations, let me know. But yeah, so I read that, really enjoyed it. So I finished that last night. Obviously I haven't read much today because I was asleep for the solid part of the day, but since I've woken up, I did start and read a couple of chapters of The Merciless 3 by Danielle Vega, and this one is, I'm on page 40. Like I said, I've been asleep most of the day. So I did start this. This is what I'll be focusing on tonight once I finish editing the vlog and get home from physio. So Winifred is trying to move under my arm. Don't rub on that. Move over here. There you go. So yeah, I think that is it for this clip. This is being kind of a ranty, weird clip, I feel. But that's what's going on with me and what's going on with my reading. So I think that's it. I will talk to you guys tomorrow when I get home from work. So that is all. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is 1:23 p.m. on Saturday, the 12th of January. A long time no talk. I haven't filmed in a couple of days. I don't know if I've ever missed 2 days in a row before on the vlogs. I've definitely missed a day here or there, but I don't know if I've ever missed 2 in a row. I have been fairly unwell the last few days, so I spoke to you guys. I think I spoke to you guys on Wednesday. I've been very unwell the last couple of days as well. I've had all kinds of troubles. I've had really bad tension headache, like really bad. I've had a problem with my shoulder. I saw the physio on Wednesday, had seen the physio on Wednesday night, and they ended up strapping my shoulder. I've had heavy strapping on my shoulder, which then caused a whole debacle, because then when I finally took the tape off last night, I've never been mad to be single before, but how do you move sticky tape residue from the middle of your back on your own? You can't. So that was a whole thing. I'm just really taking it easy this weekend, giving my body and my brain time to recover. So in terms of weekend plans, it is Saturday now. I did manage to go out for coffee and stuff this morning, which was good. And then I don't have anything going on the rest of today. I just came home to watch, last night I had wanted to watch the semi-final of the Sydney International Tennis Competition. But it ended up getting delayed because of rain, so it was actually on this morning. So it just finished. I just watched that, and the Australian won, which is fantastic. So we now have an Australian in the women's singles and the women's men's final, which are both on tonight. So that is my tonight plans. And they both were in at the final last year, I think, and they both lost. So hopefully they can both win this year and turn it around. And then the Australian Open starts on Monday, which I'm also really excited about, because if you guys have been watching the vlog since last year or have just heard me mention before, then you may know that I love tennis. I love watching tennis. So that is my plans for kind of tonight, is just watching the tennis. I have to film 3 videos today, so I'm going to go and do that after I film this clip, most likely. because one of them needs to be edited and go up tonight, and then I do need to hopefully edit the other ones this weekend as well, so that I can have them all scheduled for upload during this coming week. And then tomorrow I don't have anything going on during the day, so again I'll just be like spend most of the day probably relaxing, really recovering, trying to really recharge my batteries. And then I have dinner tomorrow night. Family, we're all going out to dinner. It is basically a big combination celebration type of thing. It's my brother's farewell dinner, because my brother moves to Brisbane the following, I'm not sure exactly when he's leaving, but so we're having dinner tomorrow night, Sunday night, and then he's got work the following week, and then the week after that, starts work in Brisbane, so next weekend sometime he'll be leaving to go to Brisbane. And then it's also my sister's birthday on Monday and my dad's birthday on Wednesday, so we're having a big joint kind of celebration. So that's tomorrow night. Yeah, so that's kind of the life update. I haven't been doing, onto the reading update. I haven't been doing a huge amount of reading because I've had a really bad migraine. For part of it, I had a really bad tension headache. The muscles across my shoulders here, I actually have a massage on Wednesday, which is really great because I think, my hair, I think that's really going to help my situation. So to update you on what I have read, so I think I'm correct with where I think I was at when I last spoke to you guys. So I think I was still reading this the last time I spoke to you guys. So I finished this on Wednesday night. I think I only had a little bit of this left to go, and I did end up finishing this. That was when I was still feeling better. So I finished this. Sorry, my brain is all over the place. Finished it. It wasn't, so the thing with this is this one is a prequel to the previous two books, so it's set before, and I feel like it was really hard to create any real suspense with this story because we already know what's going to happen to this character because we know what happened, we know where it's at with them. So I don't know, I just felt like it really lacked being able to build any kind of real suspense. And yes, it's still cheesy and fun. I do feel like the horror, gore, is getting a little bit over the top. It's like the author feels like she has to keep one-upping herself, as the books go on. But it was still enjoyable, but they've not my favorite in this series. Ended up giving this one 3 stars. So I finished that. I then started reading The Last of the Mohicans by James Fenimore Cooper. And I read 55 pages out of, I think, 300 and something, 350-ish pages. So I read 55. So I read, I don't know what percentage that is, but I ended up DNFing it. So it's a story it was really, really hard to read. The language, it's a classic, but the language in it was super hard to follow. I'd read 55 pages. I had no real idea of what I had read so far. It was also really boring, probably because I didn't know what was going on. I was just what's happening? I was so bored with it. Probably because it's to do with the headspace that I was in as well. Obviously, I hadn't been feeling great, so the last thing I wanted to be doing was reading a book that I wasn't enjoying. And then in addition to that, I have had a pretty great reading year so far in 2019. Yes, it's only the 12th, but while I haven't been reading any fantastic 5-star reads, I have been reading all books that have just been fun and easy to get through, and I've just been having a good time with my reading. So I refused to allow a really crap book to come in and just completely derail that. So I decided to just DNF that and not push on with that, and I'm not upset about that at all. So put that to the side. So there's one more book left in the Merciless series, and I want to read that as well, but I ordered it. It was one of the books that I ordered in my Christmas order, and it hasn't arrived yet. Well, it may have arrived, I don't know. It should be here soon, because I think I've got one of the books from that order has already turned up. Yeah, it did, so I should be getting the next one probably this week. The next couple this week. So I will be reading that when it arrives, but to finish off the series, because that's the last book in the series, but I don't have that yet, so I haven't read that. So the next book that I picked up that I moved on to from my physical TBR shelf is Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groudon. This is a duology, so hopefully I'll read this and the sequel to this, and then by the time that I finished this, hopefully the last Merciless book will have arrived, and then I can read that as well. Sorry, I got hair in my mouth. So I started this. Like I said, I haven't been reading a huge amount, but I am just on like about halfway through. I'm on page 196, so I'm, yeah, almost exactly probably about halfway through. I think this is like 380 something pages. I'm just having a look to see. Oh, 379, so almost, yeah, so I'm pretty much halfway. So for those of you who don't know, this is a YA alternate history book. So it's set in, what year is it? It's 1956. However, it's set in an alternate history where Hitler and like Germany won the war. And we're following a female character named Yael, who is a skin shifter, so she can change her appearance. It's not completely like Mystique X-Men style where she can just completely look like anyone. She can't change her gender. She can't permanent markings on her body like tattoos or scars she can't remove, but she can change like her hair color, her eye color, her voice, and can like make herself look like what other female people, because she can't change her gender. I guess she could maybe, I don't know if that just means, I don't know, I want to get into the technicalities, but anyway, it says that she can't change her gender. So Yael is part of this like resistance movement, and basically at the start of the novel she is entering, there's this motorcycle race that has sprung up since the war ended, and the victor of the race gets to meet Hitler at this like ball that goes on after the race, and Yael enters the race and plans to, like, in the hopes of winning the race so that she can meet Hitler and kill Hitler and then spark, you know, a huge like resistance movement. So that's basically what it's about. So we follow Yael like in the motorcycle race, like trying to win the race. You know, that's what this book is about. I don't know what the sequel's about, obviously, because I'm not going to spoil myself, but it is only a duology. So like I said, halfway through, I'm actually really, really enjoying this. I think Yael is a really interesting character. We get bits of her backstory to what happened to her during the war. Yael is a Jewish character, so she was in the concentration camps, and what happened to her, what's like how she became like a skin shifter. I don't even know if skin shift is the term. I've just made that up myself. I don't think it's ever, that's what's said, but anyway, and yeah, so we get a lot of her backstory. I think she's a really, really interesting character. I'm really liking the setting of the motorcycle race. We've got a few different like aspects like going on in the race that I'm really, really enjoying. A lot of different like relationships and things, not like romantic, just general. There's a lot of, the race is really like underhanded, like there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the race, like a lot of violence, like you can be stabbed or like forced off your bike, and like people die all the time, so it's very like dangerous, and yeah, and like she needs to win. So yeah, really, really enjoying this. Like I said, I'm about halfway through. So that is about it, I think, for this update. Like I said, apologies that I haven't updated you in a couple of days. I am going to go now to film some videos to get up during the week. And yeah, that's it, I think. And I will talk to you guys again tomorrow, hopefully. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is 5:08 p.m. on Sunday, the 13th of January. I've really just been sticking true to my word. Yesterday, I'm really just trying to relax, recharge my batteries. I feel pretty good right now. I, slept in today, had a nice sleep in. Yesterday, I was just watching the tennis. Last night, I went round to my parents' place after. So Ash Barty, the Australian girl, lost her final, which was disappointing, but she played a really good game. She just couldn't quite get there. But Alex de Minaur, the Australian guy, won his final, which was so exciting. And then, like I said, after that, I went round to my parents' place and I watched the Arsenal game with my dad. Unfortunately, Arsenal lost, which sucks, but yeah, so that was last night. And then, like I said, today I've just slept in, and then since I've been up, I'm really just been reading and watching booktube. I've actually got through a lot of booktube today, which is good. A lot more booktube than I have been getting through in recent days, which is really, really great. So I need to leave in about, my parents are picking me up in about half an hour, just over half an hour. And obviously, because we've got dinner tonight, like I mentioned, the farewell birthday combination celebration, and obviously some work needs to be done to make myself presentable. And I just finished a book, so I thought I would do this update now and talk to you guys before I start getting ready for the evening. I think it's really good that I've had just like a really nice relaxing day. Now I'm about to go out for like a nice enjoyable dinner with my family, and I feel, like I said, I feel pretty good right now, so hopefully I'm on track to just be back to my full potential and all of that stuff. So yeah, so reading update. So I've just finished Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Growden. I only read about 90 pages of this yesterday, and then I've read the last, I don't know how much, like 100 pages, not even, maybe like, I can't remember where I was up to. I finished it, is the point. I enjoyed this, I really did. For me, it's a really solid 4 stars. The reason I don't feel like I can give it anything higher than a 4 stars is, for me, it lacked a little bit of just like that punch, like X factor towards it. There's a kind of an event that takes place that I thought was pretty predictable. It was enjoyable, but predictable. I am very excited to see, this is just a duology, I'm very excited to see where the events go in Blood for Blood. I'm pretty sure the sequel's called. I'll be reading that very soon. Very excited to see where everything finishes up. I really liked everything in here on identity. I feel like identity is one of the main like themes of the book, like what makes you who you are. Like obviously, because our main character Yael can skin shift and she can look like people, and she even says that she doesn't really remember what she herself ever looked like, because she has been able to do this since she was very, very young, and because of her being a survivor of the Holocaust and her having to take on these different physical identities for her own protection from such a young age. She doesn't really remember what she looks like, and she always is looking like different people and stuff, obviously. So what makes her who she is? Not just in terms of physical identity, but just all the different kind of commentary on what makes us who we are as people. I thought was really interesting. I also really loved the setting, obviously, of just this like alternate history where Germany and Hitler had won the war. Ryan Growden's like look into like what the world would look like if that had happened, and how Hitler would have spread, you know, beyond just like Eastern Europe, and would have taken over more than that, and how Japan would probably be a big factor, a big power in the world, obviously due to their support of Germany in the war. And I really liked the author's note at the end where she talked about how a lot of the things that she talks about that meant that Germany won the war were possible things that like Germany were going to do, and how it was always a possibility. Like every historian agrees that there was always a possibility that Germany were going to win World War II. Like if you've ever studied World War II, then you know that it was one of those wars where it seemed like Germany and its supporters, the Axis powers, were going to win. Like they were winning, let's be real, for a long time, and thankfully they didn't. But I really liked the look in this book of what the world would look like if they had won, and how the world would be. So yeah, really enjoyable, really solid 4 stars. Like I said, really looking forward to continuing on. So I've just finished that. Like I said, I'm about to get ready now. I probably won't do any more reading really until I'm not sure how late I'll get home from dinner tonight. It won't be like super late, but I want to make sure to get a really good night's sleep again tonight. Like I said, I'm just really trying to really bolster myself up to, I really want to, one of the things that, this is going to get into a little bit tangenty, but one of the things that I did really want to focus on in 2019, not really like a resolution, but is just myself and being the best version of myself, which I know sounds really trite, but I just think that a lot of times people, and I know I am, this is definitely the case for me, I don't focus on myself the way that I should, and I just want to be doing all the right things and all the easy things that you can do for yourself, like really taking the time to think about my own physical and mental health and what is best for me all of the time, and doing all of the easy things that I can do, like exercising as much as possible. And not, I don't mean in terms of even for like a weight loss thing or anything like that. I just mean in order for me to be the healthiest version of myself, and, you know, drinking enough water and getting enough sleep and doing things that I enjoy and not stressing myself out, and taking the time when I do feel stressed out to think about what I can do to make that situation better, and all of those types of things. Just want to be more mindful, I guess, as cliche as all of those things sound. So yeah, want to get a good night's sleep was the point of that. So I will probably start a new book, like at least before I go to bed, and do a bit of reading before I go to bed, but I don't know how much more reading I'll get done apart from that, depending on what time I get home tonight. So yeah, that's it for this clip. What's the date today, did we say? The 13th. There are definitely more days to go in this vlog. I will talk to you guys tomorrow when I get home from work. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is 5:34 p.m. on Monday, the 14th of January, my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Sandra. Here comes my standard summertime complaint. It is so hot. Like, so hot. It's like over 40 degrees, and I just walked 10 minutes from the bus. And even on the bus, I was a little bit annoyed. And it's just like petty things that like aren't actually things that I'm allowed to be annoyed at, but they annoy me anyway. I normally sit on a particular side of the bus, and all of the seats on that side were taken, so I had to sit on the other side of the bus. And I've never really thought about it. Like, it wasn't a conscious decision for this reason, but that side of the bus is the side in summer, well, all the time, I suppose, but particularly in summer, where the sun is on that side of the bus. So the side, this arm that was against the window, I was so hot from the sun coming in that side. And then also the bus was like packed to the gills, like packed. We had, I always get a seat because I'm on quite an early stop, like I get on at one of the first stops of the route or route, whatever. So I had a seat, and then someone sat next to me, so they were like pressed against me on one side. Then I had the heat coming in from the other side, and then, like I said, the bus was just like full, so the air conditioning, which I think was on, was doing nothing. It was just so hot, and then I had to get off the bus, and I just feel real yuck. And I've got knitting tonight. I may have time. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have enough time to have like a quick shower before I go, because I'm so like sweaty and just feel disgusting right now. So, and we've got temperatures forecast for like to be over 40 degrees for like most of this week. Lord help me. So that's my standard weather complaint. I've been at work, got home, not a lot to report. I was out at dinner last night, like I mentioned, and then I came home and I had the worst night's sleep I've like ever had in my whole life. I didn't get to sleep until close to 3 a.m. So I'm really proud of myself because I'm still not feeling like the best I've ever felt in my life. Like, look at these dark circles under my eyes, you guys. And to get up and go to work, although I went in a little bit later than I normally would, on like 4 hours sleep. I'm proud of myself, and I made it through the day. So there may be a coffee in my future when I'm at knitting tonight, but yeah. So, reading update. The one good thing about having had a really crap night's sleep is that I did do a bit of reading, like on and off, because there was a couple of different times where I was like, no, I'm awake. I'm like so awake, this sleeping thing isn't going to happen. And so I pulled out my Kindle and read some of my book. And I did that like 2 different times in an attempt to try and make myself sleepy. It was clearly not working, but I did get a bit read. So I read last night, like I said, I read like a third of the book last night, and then I didn't take a lunch break today because I was in a bit late, but I read on my commute to and from work. So I'm reading Deliver Me by Karen Cole. This is a NetGalley read. It is a thriller. It's basically, so it's got quite an interesting premise, if you haven't heard me talk about it in my TBRs and such. So it's a thriller. It's about a woman who has been a little bit unwell and, you know, tired. It's been a bit of vomiting. and she goes to the doctor, and she finds out that she's 2 months, I think it's 2 months pregnant at that time. At the time that she finds out she's 2 months pregnant, she hasn't had sex in over a year. And so obviously she's like, what the heck is going on? And then she starts to like obviously try to think about it and realizes that she went to a New Year's Eve party and had quite a bit to drink and cannot remember that night, like, at all. And so she obviously determines that this is the night when she conceived her child. And then it's just kind of about that. It's got some interesting stuff in there and like stuff that annoys me, but not annoys me in that I think the author is technically doing anything wrong, just in that because it's probably quite realistic. So, for example, she says to like a few different people like throughout that she thinks that she's been raped. And so obviously trigger warnings for rape in this, also trigger warnings for abortion, all of that type of, if you're sensitive to anything of that nature, don't pick this book up, it's not for you. So she says to a couple of different people that she thinks that she's been raped, and the majority, I think all but one person, say to her, oh, you weren't raped, like, you know, you had too much to drink, you hooked up with someone, you don't remember, now you're pregnant. And I was like, because she says that she thinks that she may have been slipped a like Rohypnol or something, like a date rape drug, and everyone's like, oh, you weren't, you were just drunk and had sex with someone. And I was like, I find that so annoying. But I find it so annoying because I believe that that would be a lot of people's reaction. But I was just like, it makes me so mad because I'm like, it doesn't matter whether she was even slipped a date rape drug. If she is that drunk that she is like blacks out like the entire night, like she is so like maggoted drunk, as we would say in Australia, that's rape anyway. She cannot consent in that like kind of condition. So, and it just frustrates me because I really do believe that people would have that opinion about it, and that is so frustrating. So it's got a lot of commentary that I find really interesting because obviously she's pregnant with this child. She doesn't know who the father is, and she's obviously conceived the child in like a not great way. And so she's obviously having really mixed feelings about her pregnancy. So that's all really interesting. On top of that, her older sister, who she lives with her sister and her sister's husband. Her sister, about a year prior, maybe a bit longer than that, her sister had a pregnancy that resulted in the baby basically, the cord wrapped around the baby's neck during labor, and the baby unfortunately died. It's so awful. And so she's got her sister who has never quite been the same since this awful, awful event. And then now she's having to tell her sister that she's pregnant. And then not only is she pregnant, which obviously already her sister would probably find difficult, but she's pregnant under these really crazy circumstances. And it's just, so all of that is just like really interesting, like character dynamics in that as well. And I think I like the commentary on that because I actually know that that is something that quite a lot of people go through. Not necessarily to the extent of having had a baby's death, but when you have a close friend or a family member who has experienced infertility issues, or is experiencing infertility, and a close friend or family then falls pregnant, and obviously that's hard for the person with infertility, and it can be hard for the person who's having the baby because they know that that is something that's going to hurt them, and it's a really hard time. I know that my mum has spoken about it. My aunt had several very late term miscarriages, and my mum has spoken about when she fell pregnant with my sister, my older sister, that it was one of the hardest things that she had to do was telling her sister that she was pregnant, because it was after she'd already experienced quite a few late, like I'm talking 7-month miscarriages. So, it is something that happens to people in real life. Obviously, the circumstances of falling pregnant and not knowing how you fell pregnant, it probably happens, it happens, but probably not super often. So that's not necessarily something that like a lot of people can take stuff away. So I like that it's kind of got this like kind of out there premise, but through that out there premise is talking about things that are actually, actually things that people deal with. So I like that. I do have a theory. I've got a theory about who the father is, and everything going on with that side of things, so I'll be interested to see if I'm right with that. There are a couple of different ways that it could go. There are basically two main ways that I think it could go, but I'm leaning more towards one than the other, but I'm only, did I say how far of the way through I was? I don't know if I said. I can't remember if I said, so let me pull it up. Why am I looking on my phone? I'm not reading it on my phone. I don't have the Kindle with me. I don't have it with me, you guys, and I don't want to go get it because it's all the way on the other side of the room, and I'm not wearing pants. So, I'm pretty sure that I'm 64% of the way through, because I remember as I was reading it, closing my Kindle, I was like, maybe I should read just one more chapter because I just like even parts of the book, and I was like, if I get over 66%, then I know that I'm exactly 2/3 of the way through. But I was like, no, because I didn't know that I would get through another chapter, and I hate leaving it off, not on a break. So I'm pretty sure that I'm 64% of the way through. So I'm basically 2/3 of the way through that. So like I mentioned, I've got knitting tonight. Not sure how much more I'll get read tonight. So over the weekend I did get the filming done that I wanted to get done, and I edited all of the videos. So the only thing I have left to do on them, so there's one that's going up tonight. I've still got to upload them. That's fine because uploading with my new internet is going so far, so that's not a problem. It's just the captioning. So I will need to caption that video when I get home from knitting. So I'm not sure how much reading I'm going to get done. I'll probably read a chapter or two before I go to bed, but I probably won't finish the book. I don't even know if I'll have it finished by the next time I talk to you guys. It depends how much I get read. Although I think I've read a third of it, so if I get a few chapters read tonight, and I have a lunch break tomorrow, I should actually potentially will have that book finished by the time I talk to you guys tomorrow. So we'll see. I guess in a second when you guys get the next clip, you'll know whether I finished it or not. So that is about it. I feel like I rambled on about that book, but I'm interested to see kind of where it goes. I'm enjoying it more than, I was really intrigued by the premise. Obviously, that's why I requested the book from NetGalley, but it was definitely one that I was wary of. I was interested, but I really thought that there's a chance that it could be really terribly done. And for the most part, I'm enjoying it. I think that it's pretty well done. Having said that, I haven't ever dealt with any of the issues in this book, so I can't really speak to it on that level. I will, of course, once I finish the book, look into a lot of reviews on Goodreads and see what other people have to say and see if there's any major problems that I didn't pick up on that I'll mention, once I finish the book. But for the most part, it seems to be fairly well done. So, yeah. That is it, I think, for this clip. I'm going to go now so I can have a shower before I go to knitting. It's so hot. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow when I get home from work. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. It is 5:37 p.m. on Tuesday, the 15th of January. Okay. I'm a little bit of a mess right now, but we'll get to that. So, just got home from work. Not a lot to report. Yeah, not a lot to report. Let's move on to the reading update. So, last night I read to about, I think I was 77% of the way through Deliver Me. I then on the bus this morning read to 90%, which was killing me because I really wanted to finish it and find out exactly what it was going on. But I had to stop it to get off the bus, so I did that, and then I read the end of it on my lunch break. I wasn't going to take a lunch break today, just to get some extra work done, but I was like, I'm going to take as much of a lunch break as is necessary to finish this book. So I spent the 20 minutes or whatever, and I finished it. So I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was a pretty good thriller, mystery thriller. So yes, there are things about it that aren't perfect. The main character, particularly in the end half or the second half of the novel, really does some stuff that is super annoying. She is very quick to accuse. She's very accusatory of a lot of people, which is super annoying. And then there's a lot of stuff that she does towards the end. She just makes really stupid decisions and does stupid things, which is pretty typical of thrillers. And some of it you can explain away because she's in a very highly emotional situation. like anyone would be a bit like frantic with everything that's going on to her, and she's like pregnant, which already, of course, heightens your emotions a lot. So some of it you can explain away, but then some of it I was just like, no, I don't care how like highly emotional you are, you wouldn't do some of this stuff that she is doing that was like really annoying. But then we get to my favorite thing that happened. So I mentioned yesterday that I had a theory, and I think the author did an amazing job of constantly making you question who it was. I had my main theory the whole way through, like I mentioned yesterday, but even with having my main theory, so many times throughout the novel, the author made me go, oh wait, is it this person? And then I would go, oh, and then, you know, something else happened, I'd go, oh, no, it's this person. So even though I still had my like main theory, I was chopping and changing all the time about what the other possibilities were. And then the ending happened, and I did not see it coming. I so rarely don't see an ending coming, so I was so excited when we got to the end, and I went, wait, what? What's happening right now? And so I was super pleased with the ending in terms of that. So really enjoyable. Like I said, I still like all of the commentary about the different emotions and different like things going on that I all mentioned yesterday. So I'm giving it 4 stars. I thought it was a really, really solid thriller. Definitely one of the better thrillers that I read from like NetGalley. So very, very enjoyable. I then also today have completed another entire book because I listened to an audiobook today. So none of my audiobooks had still come in. I had 10 on hold and none had come in. So last night before I went to bed, I quickly checked on the available now section, which I'd done a couple of times before, but my available now section normally isn't great because all of the good audiobooks are normally out and have long holds lists on them. So I had a quick look, and I happened to see that they had Wonder by RJ Palacio was in the available now section, and I thought, oh, that's really awesome, I'll listen to that. And then of course as soon as I borrowed that, so I borrowed that last night with the intention of listening to it today, and then this morning by the time I got to work, one of my holds had come in, which is fine, I'll start listening to that one tomorrow. So I finished the entire book of Wonder by RJ Palacio today on audio. I don't even really know what to say about it. It was probably a mistake to listen to at work, because so many parts of this book made me so emotional. I don't even know, I feel like I might start crying about it just thinking about it. So, for those of you who don't know, Wonder by RJ Palacio is about a little boy named August, or Augie, who has a very severe facial deformity. And we follow him in his first year of middle school when he is going to school for the first time. He's been homeschooled up until this point, but he is now going to a regular middle school. And we basically follow him through that journey. This book was just, I don't even know, it was so heartwarming and so... oh, I don't even know how to explain it, how to put into words what was so good about it. I mean, obviously it's like a very emotional type of topic that it's dealing with. I thought the author did it so wonderfully. You get a lot of different perspectives. So you get Augie's perspective, but you also get perspectives from like other people, his sister and some of his friends, and just lots of different people. And I really liked that as well, getting to see like Augie and Augie's situation and his problems like through their eyes. I really liked all of that. Really the main message of the book is just about kindness, and it's definitely a book obviously that's aimed at a younger audience, but it's the type of book that I think everyone should read. There's a quote at the end of it that I'm going to read to you guys because I thought it was amazing. So the quote is, "We carry with us as human beings not just the capacity to be kind, but the very choice of kindness." And it was just like, it's like such a simple quote, but it's so true. We all within us have the capacity to be kind, but you have to make that choice to be a kind person. And that's why I think it's a type of book that everyone should read, because I think we could all do with reminding that a simple act of kindness can change a life. So, oh, I'm getting emotional. I'm not a crier about my own life, but I cry at the drop of a hat in movies and books and all of that type of thing, and I would never cry like talking to someone in real life about this, because the like act of me being there with someone would just, not intentionally, I just wouldn't cry. But it's different when I'm talking to the camera because there's not actually someone else here. So I feel very emotional about it. I was like, basically, I just finished on the way home, and I was basically sobbing as I was walking down the street. That may have also had to do with the fact that I was really upset about how hot it was, but oh, this book was amazing. I'm giving it 5 stars. It's only, what did I say, the 15th of January, and I've given a 5-star rating already this year, which is amazing. I just think, like I said, I just think it's a book that everyone should read. It was so beautiful, and I just think the message in it, I thought it was so well done. I know they've made a movie of it, and I will definitely watch the movie now as well and see how that kind of got adapted to the screen. So yeah, it was very emotional, and I feel very emotional, and now I have to leave for boxing in like less than 10 minutes. So, and it's so hot. I'm like not looking forward to boxing tonight. Like, it's over 40 degrees. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna go so that I can get ready for boxing. And so I literally finished those 2. I haven't started anything else. I finished that book on my lunch break, and then on the bus ride home, I like finished Deliver Me on my lunch break, and then on my bus ride home, I knew that I was only going to be able to finish the audiobook if I like spent the rest of the bus ride listening to it, and so I thought I would rather finish the audiobooks that I haven't finished rather than have like 5% of it left, than start another book. So I finished that, so I will be starting something new probably tonight when I get home from boxing. But yeah, that is it for this clip, and I'll talk to you guys when I get home from work tomorrow. Bye guys. Hi guys. It's as hot as ever. It is 5:32 p.m. on Wednesday the 16th of January. It is my dad's birthday today. Happy birthday, Dad. Not that he watches, but happy birthday anyway. So, my mind's probably going to be all over the place in this video. I am so hot. It's so hot, and it's actually really, I think it's technically like a degree or 2 cooler than it has been the last couple of days, but it's really overcast outside, which means it is muggy. So muggy. The air is just thick. It feels disgusting out there. Like, I'm like I said, I've walked the 10 minutes from the bus, and I've got a massage tonight, and I'm going to have a shower before I go to the massage because I've sweated on the, it's so gross. I hate it. So, not much to report. Been at work, nothing too exciting. So, on to a reading update. So, I should have got my book before because now you're getting this ugly angle, but I left it over there. Okay, now I've got it. So, I am reading Blood for Blood by Ryan Growden. I started this last night. I read about 70 pages last night, and then today, just on my commute to and from work, I read about another 100 pages. So I'm currently on page 177. This book is fairly long. It's close to 500 pages, so I'm not, this is the part here on this side, this smaller section that I've read. So I'm hoping to get to the halfway point tonight. That's my aim. I need to read about 70 more pages, which I think is doable. Like, I read 70 pages last night. I have a video that needs to go up tonight, which is all edited and ready to go, but I need to caption it. And like I said, I've got a massage, so I won't be able to start captioning it until I get home. So not sure if I'll reach the halfway goal, but I'm pretty happy. Like, even if I don't reach that goal, I'm pretty happy. So my thoughts on this so far, I'm enjoying it. I really am enjoying it. I like all of the character relationships and all the character dynamics going on in this. The part that we just had happen made me emotional, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really looking forward to seeing where this goes and how it finishes. That's that. I also read an entire another audiobook today. So the audiobook that I mentioned yesterday that the hold had come in is Saving Montgomery Soul by Mariko Tamaki. So I listened to the whole thing today. I didn't realize how short it was. The audiobook is only like 6 hours long. I'm going to have a quick look on Goodreads and see how long it says that the actual, like how many pages the book is, because like I said, the audiobook is real short. So while my phone is attempting to freaking load, because it always takes forever when I'm talking to you guys, I'll tell you what it's about. Actually, I'm going to read you the synopsis. It's just loaded because I feel like it's hard to explain. So, how many pages does it say that it is? yeah, it's only like 240 pages, so it's very, very short. It is categorized as YA. I think the main character is supposed to be like 16. One of the issues I had with the book is that it doesn't read like they're 16. It felt like they were like, from the beginning part of the book, I actually thought that they were like 12 or 13. So I'm going to read you the synopsis. It says, a beautiful off-neat beat novel, blah, 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 blah. Montgomery Saul is a square peg in a small town, a girl with two mums forced to go to a school full of homophobes and people who don't even know what irony is. Her saving grace, her two best friends, Thomas and Naoki. Monty's obsessed with paranormal mysteries like ESP, astrology, superpowers, and the healing powers of frozen yogurt. But when strange things actually start happening to Monty, she realizes that the greatest mystery of all is herself. Thoughtful, funny, and honest, this book will make you want to laugh and cry over a big cup of frozen yogurt with extra tonics and your best friend at your side. So, I don't really know what to expect. Like I said, it's YA. It's LGBT in the side characters, so the diversity in terms of that is good. The main character's got two mums, and her best friend Thomas is gay. I liked all of that. I really liked Monty's family, like her family unit. She's got her two mums, she's got a younger sister, and I thought the author did a really good job of portraying their little family and their family unit. Like, you really got a feel for how they work as a family. Like, she fights all the time with her sister. She portrayed a couple of different times them getting ready for school in the morning, and like, she's got one of her mums downstairs screaming, you know, we're late, get in the car, and then she's got the other mother frantically running around trying to help her younger sister find matching socks. And it's just like, I thought all of that was done really well. The main problem I had with the book is, like I said, that this is the main problems. The characters are portrayed, like, felt way younger than what they are. The book's kind of boring. Not a lot happens. The whole aspect of something weird is happening to her doesn't happen till, like, halfway through the book. And then I felt like at the end, it was never really, like, it's not ever, like, explained. Like, it's just a thread that's kind of, it's not dropped, but it's just like, oh yeah, this, like, weird thing was happening, and like, I don't know, I just didn't really like that, how that was handled. I will say one of the things I ended up liking is how religion was handled in the book. So that's a big theme in the book, is that Monty feels like she's in this small town where no one understands her except her two friends. Everyone else is very, you know, prejudiced and homophobic and all of those types of things. And then at one point, a new, like, preacher comes to town who is known for, like, lobbying against gay marriage and, you know, that being gay is a sin and all of those types of things. And in the, like, last part of the book, all of the discussion of that, because the main character is very against religion, and I really liked the portrayal of it towards the end, of her coming to, like, an understanding of that just because her understanding of religion is bad and, like, her experience with it is bad doesn't mean religion is bad. I really, really liked that. Another big problem I had, one of the main problems, is that it definitely falls into the category of I'm not like other girls. It's very much the, you know, the main character being different from everyone in her town, like I mentioned, which is fine, but it's done in a way where it's very, like, girl hate, and I really hated that we didn't get any depth to any of these other characters. And there's none that are even, like, characters, but anytime, there was no portrayal ever of a girl who was, like, pretty and popular who wasn't an asshole, or any character at all who was, like, a popular character who wasn't an asshole. It's like everyone was split into two categories. You're either a weirdo and really nice, or you're a popular pretty person and a complete dick who's, like, a homophobe and who makes comments about people being you know, really makes really homophobic slurs, calls people that word that I hate against mentally handicapped people, and just, like, throwing that around, saying how ugly people are, and all of that. And I just really hated that, like, kind of dividing line, that there's no gray areas. You're either one or the other. It's not possible for you to be popular and nice, or for you to be interested in alternative things but also maybe be kind of an asshole. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's not reality. So I don't know, I look like literally a pile of garbage right now. So that's that. So I'm kind of torn on my rating at the moment. I'm thinking a 2.75. Actually, I think a 3. I think it deserves a 3. Like I said, some of the stuff in there, particularly in, like, the last part of the book, was really interesting, but other parts of it just really, really didn't work for me. So yeah, I think probably 3 stars. Yeah. So I think that is about it. I'm trying to think if I've got anything else to report. I don't think so. I'm going to go now so that I can have a shower before I have to leave for my massage. And I will talk to you guys. What date did we say it was? I won't. It's the last day. I'm terrible about remembering the dates. It's the 16th. This is the last day of this vlog. So I will talk to you guys. I'll see you guys in the outro. Bye, guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this most recent reading vlog for January. I would love to chat with you guys in the comments down below how your reading's going and what books you've been reading and loving or hating. I'd love to chat down below. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from my channel. That is all I've got for this video today. Bye, guys.